They call it catching lightning in a bottle. It was less than 6 months where acquisition conversations were happening, which to me is mind-blowing.
You're in the AI tech world.
Yep.
Can you tell us about briefly what OneCliq was and how did that go into market and then it got acquired within a few months? Like, how did that happen? That was amazing.
They call it catching lightning in a bottle. And that's what we were able to do. We started as a social networking site, Minutescale, and a great team. And I will say this as an older person now.
Wow.
The idea of Gen Z not having the work ethic, the idea of Gen Z not putting in the time and the effort into jobs, into establishing themselves, is a false narrative in my experience, because the founders are Gen Z. And the work ethic that they have that inspired me to lean in and volunteer my time to kind of get started on working with them was inspiring. So all that to say, we started as a social platform for education. And by working together, talking to each other, seeing what's happening in the AI space, we did make a pivot to gather consumer insights, where all the social platforms were able to gather the conversations and have OneCliq give you a summary of what's being said and what it might mean to you, your company, your brand, your position in life. And that took a few years kind of behind the scenes to build. But once we brought it to market, it was less than 6 months where acquisition conversations were happening, which to me is mind-blowing. But if you pay attention to the AI space, these deals are happening all the time.
Yeah.
And they're happening fast. And we had, I want to say, about 20 people working at OneCliq. They're happening with 5-man teams. Guys at home, girls at home are in their basement working with AI, not knowing how to code, not knowing how to put stuff together, but they're able to work with an agent, an AI agent, and build something out of nothing. And that's kind of how OneCliq worked. We built something out of nothing. There was a need. There was a void in the market. There were questions that needed to be answered. We built something, and the market spoke by saying, we're going to pay you and take that off of your hands.
That's awesome.
That's
It's
crazy.
so
That's
weird.
crazy.
So are
That's
you
great.
saying I'm touching a gazillionaire or?
Absolutely not. Not today. How about that? Not today.
It's coming. There you
It's
go.
coming. No, but acquisition, that's a very solid word, because when you have another company that's been around for years and they're like, hey, what's that?
Yes.
And they are like, hey, can we have a conversation?
Yeah.
You know, what's that feeling like? What would you describe that?
Well, here's the thing. I've been entrepreneurial. I think like everybody in this room, in this conversation, I've been entrepreneurial for most of my life, which means most of my life has been perceived by myself, at least, as a failure. After a failure.
Yeah, just him.
after a failure. Like, we could go on and on. So, you know, the idea that someone brought me in on a team and said, this guy brings value. This guy, you know, comes in as a content creator. Let's make him the head of strategy. That speaks something.
Yeah.
But then when you have the market validating your ideas and putting a price tag on that, it's like, finally,
Relief.
there's success,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
didn't change my day-to-day at all, but it feels really good,
Yeah.
right? Like you're constantly struggling. Anybody that's built a business, I'm certain you've stumbled, you've been knocked in the teeth many
Oh, yeah.
times, just to have that, and it shouldn't mean anything, but that external validation, be like,
Yeah.
you did it.
Well, you know what's funny? We've known each other for 20 years.
Too long.
Too long. We waited tables together,
Yep.
right? And so now when I called you to book you for this podcast, I called your office and your secretary said you were fully booked. but you've made a window.
I carved out some time for you guys. I hope you appreciate it.
Yeah, I called this guy, and he's like, dude, I need a job right now.
It's true. It's very true.
But I think that's awesome because, you know, like, you're an example of, like, for all of us, it's an encouragement because we live in a hustle culture. We live in a society where we're forced to, like, hustle and hustle and hustle, and you think you don't see rewards, but then one day that opportunity knocks on your door, and you know, seeing that success so close, you know, I was like, okay, man, this, you can
Mike.
chisel the rock and
Yes,
it cracks eventually.
but to be clear, this wasn't my success.
It was a team effort.
It was a team effort, 100%. Like, I'd be very embarrassed if it came out and be like, oh, Mike did this.
Jerk.
Right? No, it was a solid team with solid leadership. And that's the magic. It's not to say this person did it. It really was a team effort.